Rich Bennett, Executive Director at USA Wrestling, and word came through over the weekend that the sport of wrestling lost one of its pioneers, Myron Roderick. Myron's done everything in wrestling. He'd been a coach, an athlete, an administrator, and the founder of the U.S. Wrestling Federation and National Wrestling Hall of Fame. What's your first thing that you think of when you hear the name Myron Roderick?
Well, man, giant in the sport. Myron Roderick, certainly an icon in wrestling. Seems like forever, and an incredible mentor to me personally. Somebody that really provided me with a lot of leadership early on in my career, my administrative career at USA Wrestling, and Myron just was a legend to a lot of people, and I think the wrestling community took a big hit when Myron passed, and man, the sport and the organization in particular will be forever grateful to Myron Roderick for his vision and his leadership to really establish USA Wrestling early on, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Myron Roderick.
In terms of Myron, he also, you talk about his impact on USA Wrestling, but in totality with the sport, Oklahoma State, more national championships than any other college wrestling program, and he's also an icon of that particular university, and the Hall of Fame is right there on the campus at Oklahoma State. What's it mean for the state of Oklahoma and the country in general, not just USA Wrestling, with Myron's impact?
Well, I know Myron, obviously grew up in Kansas, but was synonymous with Oklahoma and specifically Oklahoma State. Myron was one of those rare individuals, and having had the pleasure to know him personally, and I think a lot of times when you're around people like that, you really get this sense of awe that you're in the presence of greatness. And Myron really was unique to the sport of wrestling, or someone that was incredibly successful as an athlete, incredibly successful as a coach, and really even probably more successful as an administrator. And really is the epitome of what a wrestler should be. And I tell you, my heart goes out to Joanne and their family for this huge loss. But certainly the wrestling community, I think, should celebrate Myron Roderick for what he meant to the sport, and he really helped take wrestling to a whole new level.
What's one thing you could tell to maybe the younger generation? Obviously, Myron's day was really at carving things out in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Now the younger generation may not understand the role and the impact that he had. How could you basically sum up Myron to the younger generation?
Well, I think, Myron Roderick is what a wrestler should aspire to be. Myron, like I said earlier, was incredibly successful as an athlete, incredibly successful as a coach and an administrator. And I think, those of us that know his history, recognize that. But I think, for a young wrestler to go back and really look at his accomplishments at all phases of his life. Successful father, an incredible husband, and really what a wrestler should be. Myron Roderick's picture should be right there in the dictionary of wrestler.
With the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, which if you go down to Stillwater now and you look outside the front door, it above the front door, it says U.S. Wrestling Federation on there. They still haven't gotten rid of that, and then Myron was one of the founding people of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame and the USWF. How important is preserving the history with the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, it being a standalone business, and how much Myron helped get that off the ground? Well,
it's incredibly important, and I think probably one of the most important things that those of us involved in the wrestling community should pay attention to, and that's understanding and remembering and respecting our past. And Myron had that vision. He had that vision to really make it important within the sport of wrestling and actually beyond the sport. And I think we at USA Wrestling take it as a big responsibility to work with the National Wrestling Hall of Fame to ensure that we do properly recognize our past and celebrate our successes.